I call it the mobile shop. It's more than just a service truck. I just do so many different things between heavy duty, welding, electrical. Poor thing is overloaded since the day it was new. Yeah, that's a 65 horsepower Deutz turbo diesel in there, so it parties pretty good. I'm Brian, and this is my bucket of bolts, a service truck here in Tulameen, BC. I'm gonna do a truck tour today. Truck's a 2008 Sterling Dodge 5500. It's got a Work Truck West body on it. They did all the upfitting on it back in 2008 when it was new. It's actually held together amazingly well. I haven't really done anything to it other than change a couple of light bulbs in it. 18 years I've owned it. I think I've lost maybe 2 months worth of work with the whole thing for downtime, so it never gives me a day off, the damn thing. This is the most used cabinet, like probably most service trucks in the world. It's just a mess. The old cans of whatever, you know, that probably most of them are empty, and fancy new gloves that still have left over from many years ago. This is a fancy little magnet tray that I like for some things until it falls over and all your falls on the ground. I got these Snap-on guys. I have lots of Snap-on stuff, but not everything Snap-on. I'm not too particular to any one brand. It's whoever sells stuff, but just got some more rando stuff, you know. I got some, you guys gave me some Mueller stuff back in the day. Pretty handy little toy. Just squares and air blowers and strikers and wireless remotes for the welder. Bunch of rando in there. Got the old unorganized wrench drawer. I'm sure some of you mechanics out there would just cringe at all my organization tactics. I usually try to keep it organized, but when you bounce up and down a lot of these roads here, it goes from, oh, I just organized that, to where the hell is everything? So I've had these Craftsman ones since I was 16. Some of these are the old Pizettes. My grandfather passed those down to me. Yeah, other than that, you know, I have some Mastercraft ratchet wrenches, and I don't know, I've had those for probably 15 years. Then we got a metric drawer with batteries and the big old propane rosebud, some hose pinchy pliers. This is the old fancy take your fan belt off tool from Snap-on. One of the best things I ever bought years ago. Came with all these little gizmos. Bought some of these things for doing tie rod adjustments, and they just bounce around in there and piss me off half the time. So that's where they live. Yeah, and this is the old, probably one of the most used drawers with ratchets and screwdrivers and pliers, and got some more Mueller stuff in here. I had it's in here somewhere too, this guy here, the Blue Point carbide scraper. They both have a purpose. These definitely do work well. Can't speak any bad words about it, but this has a purpose as well, and I find myself using them both. So the standard Snap-on pick set that has every piece is bent on it. Thing for bending electrical wires. Yeah, then we got the old drawer of sockets. Snap-on screwdriver, probably had since, I don't know, 2006 or 2007 or something. So bought this fancy little 5-piece Torx tamper bit set to change the timing belt in the Deutz engine in my welder, which I still haven't done yet. I keep driving the belt around in the truck. It's been in there for probably 10 years. So one of these years I'll get to it. I told myself I was going to do it this winter, but that might not happen. So someday we'll get there. I do have a spare motor, so when it does bend all the push rods, I'll just go peel the push rods out of the spare motor. Yeah, other than that, I don't really have any Snap-on stuff. This is all Jet, which when I lose one, I don't really get sad, because $12 at Lordco buys you another one. Craftsman sockets for the most part. Do have a few Snap-on odds and sods in here, but other than that, I usually just buy whatever I need where whoever's got it, and that's for the most part good enough. These fancy little green lead drill taps, those are handy. Everyone else asks me, what the hell are those? You show them and you use it once, and then they want to go buy them. So they're not meant for every purpose in life, but they're very handy. But they're also expensive, so don't break them out for every occasion anyways. Go down to the electrical department. Got a fluke meter. I've had that for quite a while. Have this old OTC one that I bought, probably when I was 16 as well. It still goes for a ride everywhere on this thing, so she got 500,000 K on her. Yeah, just random stuff. Infrared heat gun, crimpers, tape, some random fittings and stuff. O-rings, gear clamps. Got to have the soldering kit for when you make mistakes and you can fix your things. The old Snap-on butane, which I think is the same as a Weller anyways. Then we got the old hammers and pliers and screwdrivers, and just picked this bad boy up actually when I seen this last Snap-on guy. I don't think I've even smashed it yet with a hammer too much. Gotta like your long handle Snap-on ratchets. 3/8 drive. Got the 1/2-inch one. I use those pretty much exclusively. And I just bought these, and then they got rusty because they live in a service truck. The snap-on indexing pry bars. Can't pull a C9 injector out without that guy, without swearing and lots of other comical words. But injectors in a cone crusher, and it has a C9 cat in there, and it was struggling with getting them out. So to run out to Penticton and find a snap-on dealer to go spend $750 and come home with empty pockets and a smile. I just bought this one, my hammer that I've had since high school. I finally broke the handle on it. Every good mechanic has a claw hammer because you never know when you got to pound a nail or pull something out. And then the old standard, when you break the handle off, you just weld another one on. So this is the power tools drawer, impacts, and the jack that leaks. So that's why it's on the bottom. Keeps the bottom of the toolbox from rusting, you know. Old school Makita stuff. Sawzall that doesn't work in the cold. Same thing with this old dinosaur. It works good in the summer. Got the standard snap-on long barrel air hammer. Yeah, and I got a snap-on 1/2-inch gun. Cheapo, I don't know what is that thing. Ingersoll 3/4 gun. CP 1/2-inch gun. You can run those over with a cat and they don't really care. Then I got the everybody's favorite pry bar, 48-inch snap-on. Probably one of the best things I ever bought. I use it for everything. So I've been through probably 6 or 8 of them. I did get this Mueller tool tray here that I used times. Was that a grip D, I think is what they call that? It just kind of hides in there. I always half forget that I have the old 3/4. Now there's $1,000. This is a handy little tool too, the Fluke insulation tester. I use that for when I do electric motors and things for checking windings. And this is just a random box of a bunch of things. This is only about 1/4 of what I've got. I've got a whole red toolbox full of test stuff. I've got a flow meter, and like I said, you know, everybody's got a power probe too. They have their purpose. It does get used. I've had that for a long time too, probably since mid-2000s or something. So got to have a kneeling pad. Those are important. Should have started using one of those probably 20 years before I did. Like every good service truck, you got to have a pin in the door so that the door doesn't open while you're driving. Yeah, so I got my array of welding rods in here, extension cords, more torch hose for those days where you need 200 feet of torch hose, some rags, a bunch of hydraulic BSP caps, the old K4000 gouging apparatus, and a loose screw apparently. As you can tell, nothing gets shook around here at all. We'll park that in the to-do drawer. I run some big carbons on this thing. You can run the 1/2-inch on this big welder, so you probably use those on the railway. Eh? When you've got the big machine, you can party with the big stuff. So I don't break those out too often, but I actually got a job on Tuesday, Wednesday up at the copper mine. I got to go gouge off a bunch of big plate on a feeder for a jaw crusher, so change it out. I think it's 2-inch thick hopper walls or something stupid like that. So I'm gonna pour some serious wire into that. Got the old trusty don't f around wrench here.
16 pound or 14?
That might be a 20. That one's been around for quite a few years. Other than that, the old jack when you blow a tire. All threaded rod for my pull through hydraulic cylinder. Could have some little fancy zap strap holder that's empty. Yeah, that's a Thomas and Betts toy. Got that when I was doing electrical stuff. Still got a few in there, but I always forget it's there. So that's probably why it's not full or hardly ever gets used. A little box full of some other trinkets that I probably don't even remember what's in there because, you know, I like to drive things around that I don't use. You go to the store and you buy a whole bunch of new ones and then you're rummaging through that 2 years later and you're like, yeah, I had all those. Yeah. Yeah, this is the welding department, torch and everything. So usually get a lot of people comment on the setup. It's kind of all hidden behind closed doors, which is what my theory was in the beginning of the days. Still in the original welding cable from 2008, I guess. Got 3/0 cable because this welder puts out 750 amps if you want it to. So got the torch reel. This one here is for argon for when I'm running my wire feeders. A remote cable for when I was doing BC Hydro work, I ran a Miller 30A spool gun, welding aluminum outdoors in every weather condition known to man. So I needed, at times I was up 60 feet in the air welding aluminum, so you got to have lots of cord to get yourself all the way up there. Then you got the Miller wireless remote. Yeah, that's pretty much what we carry in there. The old crane cabinet. Ta-da, it's a mess. Yeah, I've got some rigging in here. Say the big old, the longer lay down pad for when you want to not get cold. Or when you want to have a nap somewhere. We've got some bigger wrenches back here. I think I got up to 2 1/4 there. Got lots of rigging, shackles, crane remote, a few chain hoists. Pretty sure that's a pretty standard messy cabinet of most people's service truck. Big old air compressor. I put on a couple of tanks here for trying to keep the air a little drier. An old 89 air dryer for the compressor. With 3/8 hose and a 1/2 hose. The old auto crane. Gotta have one of those. That was kind of one of those necessities back when I was putting the truck together. My dad actually talked me into buying the bigger crane. I was just going to buy a 3203, and then he said, well, you should put a bigger one on. So I'm pretty glad that I went with the bigger one, because sometimes it's not big enough. Yeah, they look like outriggers, but they're rusted up. They look like outriggers now. I guess that's what happens of 530,000 on your truck and living every winter up north. Yeah, that's my knot cabinet. Like I say, salt gets to things at times. That's the back end of this old girl. So this is how I carry all my high pressure bottles and things. It's all on a manifold setup, so I don't have my gauges hanging out anywhere. Just turn them on, all the gauges are in the other side. I thought that was a good thought back in the day. Yeah, and then we've got this guy. Big jumper cables, some Milwaukee stuff, grease guns, paint and things, and sockets and hydraulic caps. This is where all the heavy iron is. Some more test stuff, cylinders and extensions. Torque multiplier that I've never used. Here's all the 1-inch drive sockets in there. This truck actually never came with this toolbox. I found it on Marketplace many years ago, and I was like, brought it home. I'm like, is that even gonna fit in there? I actually had to just pull these off, and it fit in there by about 1/8 of an inch, and I'm like, life's good. I think I bought it for $100. Good deal. It's a good heavy cabinet too, so good heavy slides. Some tire chains, because you gotta have some tire chains in this part of the world, but if I have to put them on, that means I'm probably gonna turn around, because this thing gets itself into peculiar situations and you can't get it out, because you need something equally as big to pull it out. So got the old Milwaukee 6-inch grinder, the Milwaukee cordless heat gun. That was a cool little thing I bought this year. Got the 1-inch CP impact here. Big short amble guy. These are pretty decent. Got some grinders, Milwaukee stuff. I like my Dynafile for cleaning up seal surfaces. I don't know how many guys use those, but I really enjoy it. And I carry around a TIG torch for the odd random thing. I don't know how many guys have a TIG torch in their service truck, but that's what I do in that one. And then the next mess, more plugs and caps. Gotta have a whole pail of those, right? I got 2 Miller 12VS wire feeders in here, because I like to have 2 different wires on hand. Just got this guy for Christmas. My father-in-law got it for me for Christmas, I guess. I don't even know if it works. It's got that much grease out of it. Got some wire crimpers, our electrical terminal, hand pump jack, environmentally friendly pads, some air conditioning O-rings. Gotta have your snap-on, whatchamacallit, pliers. These that I always forget I have. Here's that old 30A spool gun that I welded 1,000,000 miles of aluminum with. From my best calculations, I got about 6 tons of 1-pound spools out of this thing. So, and I think the only thing I've ever done to it is change the dial in the bottom, and lots of necks and consumables, of course. But other than that, it's been a pretty solid toy. So if anyone's want to buy a spool gun, I would buy one of those. The old 30-ton pull-through. Gotta have one of those. I actually bought that probably in like 2010. Found it on Marketplace for, I think it was $100. I think it's about a $1,500 cylinder these days or more. The old roll aluminum. I'm sure someone's going to give me shit for having that out in the open, but it's probably got 10,000 K on it or more. That's pretty much about it. I do have a lot more tools at the shop in Princeton that they let me use. So I got more welding machines, and I got a mobile hydraulic hose press, a whole bunch of hydraulic hose and inventory of fittings and things like that. So I can't carry all that around. Some days I do, but that's only when I'm going to do a job with it. Otherwise, I have no room. So that was my service truck tour for the day for you guys, and I guess it would be the Fortis HD and Tekamo world. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below, and maybe we'll see you guys again in the future.